Welcome to Empower Multimedia. Today we're going to talk about 9 different things you need to know before studying abroad. So let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to dive into is some of the reasons why you may want to study abroad. First, you can travel the globe. Studying abroad gives you the opportunity to travel the world. The ability to travel the world lets you to go meet new people and make new friends potentially. Well, whether you go to Paris, France, South Africa, London, maybe even South American countries, it doesn't matter. You get to meet new people that you would never have met, and you get to experience a different culture. Another great tip for you to know about studying abroad is it's an excellent opportunity, depending on where you go, to practice your second language. So these are some of the reasons why people may want to go study abroad. Now, the first thing before you do anything in terms of studying abroad is you need to contact your guidance counselor, and not just one. Talk to several different guidance counselors, because one might catch something that another hasn't. And something that happens not very frequently, but it does happen sometimes, is people go studying abroad thinking some of their courses will translate when they go back to the States or wherever you are. And it actually doesn't, which is highly unfortunate. It's like you took those classes for no reason. So make sure that when you do study abroad, all the classes that you are taking will transfer credit-wise towards the program and degree that you're getting. That's something a lot of people don't know, and that would be a terrible thing to happen to you if the credits don't transfer. Number 2, self-growth. Studying abroad is kind of like starting life all over again. Now, the only difference is you're in a completely different country. Studying abroad requires you to leave your comfort zone. For many people, the country they'll be studying in is entirely different from their home country, from the language to the culture, and it can be quite intimidating. During your time in another country, however, you learn to be self-reliant and stand on your own without the useful safeties of your home country. Being alone in a foreign country can be scary. At first, you'll end up much more independent than you ever would be if you stayed at home. And you can learn how to face and conquer challenges all by yourself. While you have a program manager for guidance, you'll quickly learn that you won't need them as time goes on. Number 3, taking a lot of pictures. Thanks to modern technology for allowing people to preserve memories. And what people fail to do is they fail to capture a lot of those memories because they're living a lot in the moment, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a regretful thing if you do forget to take enough pictures or videos of the moments to reflect on in another period. So please, if you do go study abroad or if you travel in general, don't forget to take pictures and videos. Tip number 4, set goals. Before you leave to go study abroad, make sure you have some goals for yourself. Do you want to learn a second language? If so, make that a goal. Or maybe make it a goal for yourself to try one new food, or at least visit one new landmark every week. Find places you want to visit and make a plan of how you'll get there. I'm not exactly saying that you need to schedule every part of your trip, but it would be beneficial to you to at least have some goals set in mind that you want to, check off every week, every 2 weeks, just so you make sure that you get the most value out of studying abroad. Tip number 5, visit nearby cities and countries. It could be a great way for you to explore even more cultures that you may not be accustomed to, and you can see even more, or I would say different types of landmarks that you wouldn't be able to see at the country you're at currently. Tip number 6, make sure that you study. At the end of the day, even though that you're in a different country, you are studying abroad, and I understand 100%. It is very easy to procrastinate. So make sure that you actually have a work-life balance, I would like to say. Make sure you're getting your work done, and make sure you're enjoying the life and the culture around you. Tip number 7. Now, some people actually might deal with homesickness. Depending on where you go, you might really not like it. Country, the culture, whatever, it may not be the best fit for you. And homesickness is actually pretty common, especially if you've never traveled alone or been too far from home. You may find yourself missing home, your friends, and your family. Try and stay positive during these times and remember where you are. Whether you're in Italy, India, Morocco, China, Japan, wherever you are, it's definitely an experience you want to make the most out of. Tip number 8. One thing to keep in mind when studying abroad is to be aware of all the good and the bad that could potentially happen where you're going. In some countries, locals may be notorious for stealing from tourists and other newcomers who may not know their methods. Pickpockets are everywhere, unfortunately. Getting robbed when you just arrived in your host country can be devastating, but it can also be avoidable. So please do your homework. Try to keep your valuables at home. For phones and wallets, keep them secure and in sight at all times. Now for the last tip, tip number 9 is to cherish the friendships you make there. Of course, while you're in the country, it's very easy to keep up with these people that you met there. But once you go back, it would probably be in your best interest to follow up with them, check up on them, make sure they check up on you, and keep the friendship going. Because you never know, in the future, they might visit the US and you can reconcile, or you might go back to the country and you never know who they may know in a different country or who you might know that could help each other out. So it's always good to keep friendships alive and not burn any bridges. So this sums up the 9 tips about studying abroad. This is Empower Multimedia, where we teach young adults how to maximize their time in college, and we teach young adults about entrepreneurship, so maybe one day they can be their own boss. And like I mentioned before, we are doing a 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you do like this content, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And stay tuned until the next video. Thank you.